6 weeks ago, I sat across from Victor at our kitchen table in Willow Creek, Colorado. The aroma of Mom's beef stew lingered, but it did nothing to ease the knot in my stomach. He pushed the refinancing papers forward, his voice steady and paternal. "Elena, sign here. It's for Langston Builders. Family helps family, right?" His eyes held that familiar mix of charm and pressure I'd known since he married Mom when I was a teenager. I scanned the documents. As a compliance officer at Pinnacle Risk Group, red flags jumped out immediately: the high interest rates, the vague collateral descriptions.
No.
Victor, I'm not co-signing. My name, my credit, it's staying out of this. Mom paused at the stove, her shoulders tense. Victor, maybe we can find another way. He forced a smile, retracting the papers a little too quickly.
All right.
No hard feelings, but there were hard feelings. That night, insomnia gripped me. His quick surrender felt wrong. Around 2 a.m., I drove to the empty office, logged into secure databases, and started checking old records. The first hit came fast: a loan application 3 years prior listing me as co-signer for Langston Holdings LLC. The signature resembled mine, but the slant was off. The in Elena too narrow. I pulled my genuine rental agreement from the same period.
Traced.
Practiced. My hands trembled as the pattern emerged. Multiple banks: Willow Creek Credit Union, Summit National. Even online lenders showed loans in my name, always just below verification thresholds. Shell companies proliferated, Crestview Ventures owning stakes in Blue Ridge Partners, which guaranteed debts tied back to me. Amounts ranged from $12,000 to $38,000, building silently like a noose. Dawn found me in the conference room, evidence taped to the wall like a crime scene board. Mom's inherited lakeside cabin, transferred to one of Victor's LLCs with a forged signature matching her birthday cards I'd kept. Equipment purchases funneled through suspicious channels. IP logs pointed to our home router. Security camera stills from bank lots showed Victor alone, documents in hand. Betrayal burned hot, then cold. This man who'd called me daughter had weaponized my identity for his construction empire. I printed everything, my compliance training kicking in patterns, intent, proof. The notary on several docs, Sarah Klein, appeared repeatedly. She'd left her job months ago. I called in sick and drove 30 miles to her Millbrook address. Sarah answered in scrubs, heading to her hospital shift. After I showed the papers, recognition dawned. Victor Langston? Always last minute. Cash only. Said you were out of town. I never met you. Her statement, properly notarized by her neighbor, joined my file. But I needed more. Over weeks, I became a detective of my own life. Forensic analysis of electronic submissions traced to Victor's office computer. Bank footage confirmed solo visits. The cabin deed forgery was sloppy. Mom's genuine writing from recent cards didn't match. Victor had practiced on her too. The ethical crossroads hit at 4 a.m. Surrounded by boxes in my apartment. Stay silent to spare Mom the heartbreak. Or expose him. I chose exposure. Next morning, I filed internal fraud reports at Pinnacle. Requested stress leave. My supervisor understood without details. Compliance professionals recognized the signs. I contacted Lydia Quinn at Valley Legal Aid. Met at a financial workshop. I need help doing this right, I said, arriving with boxes. She reviewed methodically. This is solid. Thorough. We mapped strategy. Adult financial protection order first. Then simultaneous identity theft claims to every institution. Timing was critical before Victor could shift assets ahead of the looming foreclosure auction of his empire. My half-brother Ryan, Mom's son from her first marriage, texted after hearing rumors. A mechanic with oil-stained hands. He showed up at Lydia's office furious. Whatever you need. Elena. Lydia outlined the plan. Protective order for record and distance. Claims hitting banks hard. Stonebridge, no. Willow Trust as a legal vehicle. Lydia as representative. Funded by my savings and Ryan's loan, would bid strategically at the auction on overlooked but crucial lots. We spent days mapping Victor's web. Insurance fraud on trucks recovered suspiciously. Material substitutions on projects. Profits siphoned to shells. Ryan spotted vehicle registration discrepancies. Those commercial permits in Lot 21? Without them, his fleet is useless. Lydia smiled tightly. Contract law basics. Own the castle, but control the drawbridge. The cabin. Mom's family legacy worth over $300,000 had been leveraged twice via forged deeds. This wasn't mere theft, it was systematic stripping. We prepared sealed court orders, identity docs, trust authorizations. Ryan's mechanical insight proved invaluable, connecting fleet docs to operational paralysis. By week 4, filings rolled in waves. Banks placed holds. County Fraud Unit Detective Harlan reviewed my report. Extensive. Interstate elements via Delaware shells. We coordinated without disrupting the auction, but ensured monitoring. Victor projected confidence publicly, boasting on social media about reclaiming his legacy while quietly liquidating tools. Calling favors. Threats began. Voicemails at midnight. I know what you're planning. You'll regret this. I forwarded to Lydia and Detective Harlan. He showed at my office, ranting about vendetta until security removed him. Each incident added to the evidence pile. The night before auction, sleep evaded me again. I reviewed the catalog. Lot 52, the lakeside cabin. Lot 33, access easements. Lot 21, vehicle documentation and permits. Lot 49, office records and files. Our modest war chest targeted the connective tissue, making his prizes worthless. Mom called late. Victor says you're ruining him.
No, Mom.
He's ruining himself. Check your statements carefully. I laid out professional clothes, portfolio of documents, recording app ready. Brown leather gloves hid fading bruises from prior confrontations, now evidence. Tomorrow, the Willow Creek Auction Hall would become the stage for calculated justice. The auction hall buzzed with early arrivals 2 hours before the gavel. I entered wearing my brown leather gloves, portfolio in hand like armor. Victor was already there, networking near the cabin photos, suited sharply, shaking hands with veiled threats. Family property for generations. Wouldn't want complications with access. Bidders drifted away warily. I took the back row for visibility and anonymity. Ryan sat mid-room for oversight. Lydia arrived last. Willow Trust paddle 47 in hand. Victor's jaw tightened, tracking her. The room filled with developers, dealers, curiosity seekers. Detective Harlan lingered near exits, blending in civilian clothes. At 9:45, auction house legal rep Garrett announced reminders. Sales final. Payment in 48 hours. Disputes flagged at sale. Buyers assume risks. Victor shifted uneasily, the first crack in his facade. The auctioneer, voice like gravel and honey, began at 10 o'clock sharp. Early lots moved fast. Victor bid selectively on tools and supplies, pacing resources. I noted every dollar, every twitch. Lot 21 arrived. Miscellaneous vehicle documentation and permits. Opening bid $200. Silence. Paperwork lacked glamour. Lydia raised her paddle. 500. Victor countered sharply, recognizing threat. 750. Bidding climbed. Lydia paused strategically, letting him overpay to $1,500. His mental budget cracked visibly. He'd planned 1,000 max, now 500 over. Morning progressed with calculated pressure. Lydia bid on lots she had no intent to win. Inflating prices. Warehouse lease lot 28 hit 15,000 instead of 8. Specialized tools lot 30 reached 12,000 as Victor panicked. By lunch, he'd spent 67,000 of his estimated 150,000 war chest. Premium lots untouched. During break, Victor cornered Lydia by coffee. His posture screamed intimidation, but she flashed credentials calmly and walked away. Security shadowed him thereafter. Afternoon opened with Lot 33, property easements and access rights. Opening 500. A developer bid 1,000 thinking bargain. Lydia countered. Victor jumped in at 3,000. Voice edged. Bidding escalated. 7,500. Developer dropped, confused by paper war. Just Victor and Willow Trust. 10,000. 12. 15. Victor's fists clenched, cabin next. His prize. 20,000. Lydia considered theatrically, then yielded. Victor won at 4 times budget. Reserves hemorrhaging. He thought he'd secured flanks. Unaware of sealed injunctions in my portfolio, freezing usability upon payment. More lots passed. Warehouse itself to Victor at 45,000 after war. Equipment inside 30,000 more. Funds nearly gone pre-cabin. Lot 49. Office records. Went to Lydia for 3,000 with minimal fight. He couldn't protect all. Tension peaked at Lot 52, lakeside cabin. 3-bedroom lakefront on 2 acres. Opening 50,000. Victor raised immediately. 75. Aggressive to deter. Bidders lowered paddles. Developer pushed to 80. 100. 110. Victor countered relentlessly to 150. Market value around 175 tainted by estate. Developer hesitated at 160. Victor roared, 200,000. Silence. Developer withdrew. Sold to bidder 15. Victor Langston. Applause polite. Sweat beaded his forehead. He'd overbid massively. Needing bridge loans. Then Lydia moved. Documentation relevant to that sale. She handed envelopes A and B to Garrett. Injunction on cabin/warehouse citing disputed ownership/forgery. Identity theft claims with signature analyses. Room hushed. Garrett scanned. Eyes widening. Mr. Langston. Approach, please. Victor stalked forward. What's this? Garrett's voice carried. Court emergency seal order pending fraud investigation. Forged signatures on transfers. Proceeds escrowed. Pay $200,000 within 48 hours. But no clear title until resolved. Victor's face flushed rage. This is her doing. He spun.
Spotting me.
I stood, removing gloves to reveal bruises. Symbolism hit the crowd. I'm here, Victor. Security blocked his advance. Auctioneer intervened. Complete paperwork or leave. He'd won but trapped. Payment due on frozen asset. Crowd whispered. Remaining lots deferred. Including surprise Lot 55, main access road to Highway 47. Opening 5,000. Artery making industrial sites viable. Victor checked phone frantically for financing as allegations went public. Lydia bid 7,005. Developer 10. 15.
20.
30,000. Sold to Willow Trust. Victor's empire bisected. Owned inaccessible properties. Accessed unusable ones. Willow Trust surgically acquired easements. Storage contracts. Location-tied permits. Each purchase devastated functionally. Victor trapped watching dissection. Paperwork obligations binding him. Detective Harlan revealed badge. Escorting Victor for questioning. Not arrested yet. But lawyer advised. Victor ranted on phone video about conspiracy until interrupted on self-incrimination. Lydia completed trust payments, noting donation of Lot 49 files to fraud unit. Those contained practice signatures. Forgeries, his meticulous records now evidence. Victor's understanding dawned horrifically. All legal. Daylight actions versus his shadows. He muttered appeals, but attorneys would balk at fraud foundation. Hall emptied. Ryan grinned approaching. Beautiful work. Sis. Lydia transferred acquired assets. Access roads. Easements. Permits. Willow Trust Plan fair leases to legitimate businesses. Recouping costs in 3 years. Funding victim advocacy, turning weapons to shields. Mom texted, bank reversing cabin transfer due to forgery. She reclaimed grandparents' place. My throat tightened. Thank you for being stronger than me. Staff cataloged sales, unaware they'd hosted enterprise dismantling. Detective Harlan needed statements tomorrow. Files and notary testimony sufficed for federal charges. Interstate shells. One last look at the hall, from resurrection hope to public cremation. Podium of dying dreams. Desk of exposed crimes. Exit of debt and disgrace. No regrets? Lydia asked. None, I replied, pulling on gloves. Bruises faded yellow-green.
Healing.
Victor had chances to stop.
Be honest.
He chose lies. We exited together, lawyer, mechanic, compliance officer, unlikely justice team. In my car. Ryan had left the original rental agreement Victor forged first, pages of practiced Elena Harper in his hand. When it all began, I drove to district attorney's office. Victor thought auction cost everything, but it was down payment. Prosecutors would unpack every deal. Document. Stolen identity. All sales final. He'd sold his future for past price. Through Willow Creek streets, I thought of Mom in reclaimed cabin. Ryan's honest work. Lydia aiding next victim. Shadow lifted. Justice at market price. Highest bidder won. But as satisfaction settled, a lingering question echoed. When family betrays with invisible thefts, does calculated exposure heal or scar the soul forever? How much of ourselves do we auction to reclaim what's stolen?